founders of the Acroe, now ICA, laboratory in Grenoble, France. And actually one of the reasons I invited Claude to come to NIME03, first I know Claude for 7 years, and we worked together in a great time. But also there was this discussion during NIME02, on why don't we couple force feedback with physical models, maybe even do animation using force feedback device, sound, and image. So I think Claude will present some ideas on this direction. Please, thank you.
Good morning. First, I would like to thank very much Marcelo Vanderlei and Philippe de Palme for their invitation to present this keynote today about our work in Grenoble. Marcelo said me, Claude, you know that some very serious people think today that it's a very relevant idea to connect physical modeling with force feedback principle. So you must absolutely show that this is what you've done for a long time in Grenoble, so thank you for that. I am very happy to have this occasion to present you this quick history of more than 25 years of research and experiment on force feedback gesture devices connected with physical modeling. Acroe was founded in 1976 by Anil Ziandi, Jean Florent and myself in the Institut National Polytechnique of Grenoble, and with the support of the French Ministry of Culture in order to develop a research project on computer arts. We created recently, in 1999, a laboratory, a university laboratory, the ICE for informatique et création artistique, computer and artistic creation. And this laboratory is in charge of the scientific and technological part of the program, while Acroe is specifically dedicated now to the artistic creation, diffusion and pedagogy. The team is today composed of a little 10 people, 10 permanent people, and of numerous students and various non-permanent collaborators according to the specific works and action we are doing. When we start in 1976, the computer in arts had already a history of about 20 years with the works of Matthews, Risset, Channing and others. For example, in the sound synthesis domain. At this time, we focused on this term, expression. But in Acroe, as you can see, there is also the word outil, tools, and the important word is outil d'expression. It appeared for us, indeed, very important to insist on this notion rather than on simply synthesis or musical comparison with computer, etc. Since we were convinced that computer, of course, will change not only the universe of sound and the nature of music, but more deeply the complete creative process that we have to consider in terms of interaction between the artist and its material tools. This last being completely new and different within the computer context. So the first question was, what role will actually have the computer as artistic creation tool? At the level of the sound production, which is the material for music, we can consider, for several fundamental reasons, the computer as an instrument. Even when it produces sound in real time with direct gesture control. We have not an instrument, but a simulation in a very general sense, not only in technological sense. In the sense that the processes are pure manipulation of symbols, informations, data that finally reconstruct the phenomena we perceive. We must keep in mind the absolute difference between a real physical object that we can manipulate and experiment without any limit, and an algorithm which is a finite number of digital processes and data. But, of course, the absolute advantage of the digital representation is that it offers complete control, description, analysis, reproduction of processes and phenomena. To introduce our approach of computer music, or more generally computer arts, we simply consider that this simulation paradigm could and must be generalized. Then we focused first on the primary situation in the creative process, which is, in the music for example, the instrumental interactive experiment. And correlatively, we focused on the object of this experiment, which is not the sound, but the instrument. So we decided to shift from the sound synthesis to the instrument simulation, including all the physical conditions of the instrumental interaction. From this point of view, the instrument is at a first and fundamental level a physical object that we can manipulate by our gestures and perceive with our hands, our hearing and our sight. There is a basic idea of the interactive multisensory simulation of physical object, IMS. At the level of, the previous page. IMS is the core of the global artistic creation tool we want to build. On this basis, we have to work and develop research and technology on several points. Peripheral for instrumental interaction, and particularly gesture devices with force feedback to produce tactile information. Simulation of physical objects that introduce physical modeling, of course. Simulators, in order to be able to simulate in any interactive and real-time conditions. And finally, a general environment allowing artists to create their virtual objects, to experiment them, and to build artistic works. Let's start with the simulation. We first need to allow the communication through the three channels, that is acoustical, gestural, and visual, and particularly the bilateral interaction within the gesture channel. And we are also to implement digital processes, computing gestural, acoustical, and visual phenomena as output from the gestural inputs. These very simple sounds result from the very first physical modeling simulation we done in 1979. The algorithm is very simple, just algorithm simulating mass with Newton laws put in gravity and falling on the ground, which is a very simple vibrating object. If we want to create this kind of sound with a traditional synthesis approach, in fact, we must